Hey guys, this is Aegis, and this is Game 1 of NrG versus Infinity 7 in the American Pro League Grand Final. This is the Alpha League. It's going to be a best of 7, and in this corner we do have our orange Protoss player. His name is Torrent. We've seen him in some major tournaments. And on the other side we do have NrG's Lucky Fool, going to be playing as the yellow Terran player. This is GSL's Xel'Naga Fortress. For those of you who are not familiar with this map, you travel down here and you see your natural expansion, and then further down another ramp you will see this back expansion, actually down several ramps. If you can see this well enough, there's bushes guarding here as well, and then you can climb back up and you'll see your third base in the center. There is a Xel'Naga tower in the center as well. This one does expire. This Xel'Naga tower comes with an expiration date of 420 seconds. I don't know where I got 100 from. 420 seconds from when the game starts, so after that you will not be able to use it to keep control of the center of the map. And we do have a Lucky Fool throwing up his barracks in his base. No gas coming yet, so he may be going for a faster expansion. We'll see what he decides to do in the near future. And our Protoss player is moving out about to the map with his probe. He's going to be scouting the south position first. Assimilator is on the way, and a continuous chrono boost on the probes, not saving any at all. We'll be going for the cyber core in the as soon as this gateway finishes up. SCV is out scouting for NrG's Lucky Fool. We'll see what he decides to do after he gets his orbital command up. Should be seeing that expand in the near future. Still no gas from Lucky Fool. And we'll see if Torrent decides to take his second gas faster than usual, or if he decides to take it. There it is, a pretty fast second gas before the cyber core is finished, and before it's even halfway done. And NrG's Lucky Fool gonna send his SCV over here, checks the gas, and is going to be drilling away at that pylon. He has his natural expansion now on the way. Lucky Fool has actually paused SCV production for the time being, looking to throw down another barracks. We'll see if he decides to resume. There it is, SCV production resuming now. SCV continuing to drill away. Torrent waiting a bit to throw down his warp gate research. There it is, and rallying the gateway. Still not producing anything as of yet. We'll see if he decides to go for it. Nope, looks like he's going to be throwing down his natural expansion as well. Seeing, let's see what he's seen. He has seen the expansion come up for Lucky Fool, so he's going to be grabbing his expansion himself. His expansion is a little bit delayed in comparison to Lucky Fool's expansion, so we'll see who is able to pull forward in this game. Looks like just one gas being taken by NrG's Lucky Fool. Mules being used in the main, and the natural expansion should be coming up as a orbital command in just a second. Bunker being erected at the front to make sure that no stalker pressure is able to bust in here. Stalker is going to be advancing across the map for Torrent. We'll see if he gets there in time to pick off a couple of Marines. Looks like he will not. The bunker does finish and the Marines load up. Stalker is going to still poke forward a little bit. The Xel'Naga tower in the center of the map is about to expire. The natural expansion is complete now, and a couple of probes transferring over there. 3 more gateways on the way to make it 4 gates on these 2 bases. Infantry weapons level 1 on the way for NrG's Lucky Fool, and a robotics facility is about halfway complete. Second gas getting taken by NrG's Lucky Fool, going to be mining off of that with just one SCV for the moment. Supply depot coming up in the back of his base as well. Third gas being taken by Torrent, so he's going to be going for a pretty heavy gas composition. Actually missaw that one as a gateway, so it's going to be looks like a robotics bay coming up, so he's going for those Colossus pretty fast. 3 gateways, Colossus on these 2 bases, and Lucky Fool, having gone for that fast expansion, is not going to be able to attack anytime soon. A second engineering bay is on the way as well, factory coming up. Observer is also popping out to be able to get some map control for Tarnt. He has a pretty good saturation over here at his third base. We'll see when he decides to take that next gas. Robotics Bay is about to finish, and soon a Colossus will be out on the field. He's even got a pylon warping in over here to be able to warp in units even closer to his opponent's base without having vulnerable pylons out and about on the map. Got the Observer checking the center area. Watchtower has exploded. I actually did get a chance to see it explode in an earlier game. Lucky Fool throwing up a missile turret as well and may be able to pick off that Observer. Observer goes down, and Tarn will not be able to see what's going on here except that he does see these two bunkers, and he sees the Marine count over here, so he knows that he's safe for the time being. Factory grabbing a reactor, Armory coming up as well, so Lucky Fool is going to be transitioning a little bit. Starport on the ways to be able to get that Viking count up to be able to protect against those Colossus. First Colossus is out on the field, and the extended thermal lance being researched by Tarnt. His army count is actually very low. If Lucky Fool would pump a few more units, he would actually be able to push. I actually feel like this army from Lucky Fool is a little bit stronger than the army that's out on the field for Tarnt. There's only one sentry. The gas about to get taken. There it is coming up. A forge on the way for Tarnt. So it's actually a pretty high probe count, I can imagine. 42 probes to the 36 SCVs of Lucky Fool, and it's just the 3 Stalkers, a few Zealots, and a single sentry holding the line over here. So Tarnt over here is risking a lot trying to get this up. Lucky Fool is getting a lot of bunkers here, so I wonder what he's seen so far. He's seen the Colossus coming out, so he should be getting those Vikings out into the field. There they are popping out. Lucky Fool still at only 67 supply, so this is very interesting how he's actually has less supply when he has had his natural expansion a little bit longer. Looks like he's not actually producing SCVs all that consistently off of that single command center, as well as the command center in the main. So he's going to have a slightly less economy in comparison to Torrent, who has been producing probes for the entire time, now warping in some additional Stalkers. Second Colossus is out on the field. Third Colossus is halfway complete. And an Observer is going to be scooting into the main of Lucky Fool, going to be checking everything out over here, and may run into another missile turret and get taken out. It sees the additional barracks producing tech labs and everything over here. The +1 infantry, +1 ground weapons on the way for our Pronos player, and the +2 infantry weapons and the +2 armor on the way for Lucky Fool's army. He's going to be pushing forward with his army, but additional weapons here, and 3 Colossus going to be able to defend it against this, I think. So Lucky Fool is going to be pulling all the way back to his natural expansion. Concussive Shell and the Combat Shield on the way for our Terran players, so those infantry units actually don't have all of their upgrades yet, only the Stim Pack, a couple of medevacs in the air as well, and Protoss army just kind of hanging out here. Gonna be throwing down the infantry weapons level 3, so that infantry ball is gonna be very heavily upgraded when he does decide to push. He just needs to get additional Vikings in here, maybe even poke forward with his Vikings a little bit to try to take out a couple of Colossi here or there, because he does know that those Stalkers do not have blink, and if he can catch those Colossi out of position as they are now, he may be able to take one of those Colossus down without being in an engagement. 4 bunkers over here gonna get loaded up, and Lucky Fool not actually producing out of any of those barracks. He's racking up a lot of money, so here comes the push forward. Looks like Lucky Fool now producing a couple of units out of those barracks. He's finishing the infantry armor level 2. Scan going down, checking for that Protoss army. Looks like Tarn is gearing up to take a third base. There goes the third base coming up for Tarn down in this low ground area. And it looks like he's got 5 Colossus. That's such a huge number. More Vikings coming out, 3 at a time for our Terran player. He needs to get his Viking count high enough to be able to one-shot Colossus, target them down. so that he can be able to defend against this push. It looks like we've got a pretty big drop over here for Lucky Fool, taking out a couple of workers, taking a few, and looks like it will be able to retreat without losing too much. Colossus getting in here to defend. Tarnt did pull back his probes in time to be able to save all of them, losing a couple of pylons in that exchange. Viking is going to be guarding over here as well. The Viking count is getting a little bit higher now. Still, the infantry ball is a little bit low. Some of them are in those medevacs, but it still looks like a pretty small army in comparison to Tarnt's really scary Colossus ball. He's got 6 Colossus out in the field, and a charge on the way, additional Colossus being produced. This is going to reach that critical count of 7 in just a second, and he will be able to melt infantry balls despite those 3 armor real soon. Lucky Fool here finishing up the +3 on those units, and here comes the stim forward. They're going to be rushing in here trying to do as much damage as possible. Those Vikings trying to take down the Colossus, but they're still roasting that infantry ball alive, and it looks like the majority of the Colossus are being ranged down. The last few Stalkers going to be cleaning up those Vikings, and it looks like it's just a bare infantry ball against Colossus Stalker. And despite them having the +3 attack, they're unable to take down the Stalkers, which are only 1-1. The single Colossus advancing forward here. Tarnt and Lucky Fool falling to nearly around 100 food, almost below 100 food for Tarnt. Lucky Fool at 87 food, salvaging a couple of bunkers here. He needs to start taking that 3rd base to be able to continue this production. His main is mining out, and his natural expansion is not all that saturated. He needs to transfer a couple of SCVs over here, a couple more barracks going down for Lucky Fool. A couple of units going to be advancing into the center, going to be guarding over here, even a pylon blocking this expansion. This map is so cool. Look at the destroyed remains over here. This was a Protoss patio. Looks like here comes the push. Looks like he will be deflected for now. The bunker is at the ready. No Vikings in the air because they were all taken out. Not all that fair of a trade, especially because Tarnt has his 3rd base up and mining. Not mining gas as efficiently as he could be over here, but he has a whole base in advantage of his opponent. He's got 2 forges researching +2/+2. Templar out on the field as well. And Lucky Fool here just trying to macro off of these 1.5-ish bases. Mules falling down as well. He's not mining gas efficiently over here either, but Storm is on the way, going to be finishing up in about 90-ish seconds. Here comes the Protoss ball, going to be advancing out across the map. We'll see if they are able to deny this expansion. If he denies it, it's just going to be so hard for Lucky Fool to be able to come back into this. A scan going down, the Terran infantry ball advancing forward. Tarnt actually has probably a lot invested in probes, 85 probes to the 62 SCVs, so he actually only has 100 supply of units, which is almost similar to the supply of army for Lucky Fool, which is why those armies look so similar. A couple more Zalds and Stalkers being warped in. Storm is now finished, and those Templar have so much energy they will be able to storm a lot. Here comes the Terran ball, going to be advancing forward, 156 food. And this army is just melting in the face of this Stalker Colossus. Templar composition is falling down to nearly 100 food. Storms going down as well, destroying that army, losing 40+ food. The stim pack going down, trying to retreat to this location. More stim going down. Looks like the Colossus Templar ball advancing forward again. Stalkers and Zealots coming in here. Charge is finished, so the Zealots are guaranteed hits, and the SCV is getting pulled off the line. GG! And looks like Infinity 7 does take game 1 against the NrG's Lucky Fool, so Tarnt takes game 1 up 1-0, getting the momentum in this best of 7. We're going to be headed into game 2. This is the American Pro League Season 1 Grand Final. Don't go away.